Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream. My name is Matt Bailey. I'm going live from my office again tonight for our 7 p.m. live. Pardon me. To do a special little Monday live stream. It's not a big one on Mondays at the moment. The big ones we're saving for, especially for this week, is Friday night. Let me introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm sure many of you do by now, I would hope. I do this every single night. My name is Matt Bailey. I'm the National Ambassador for the Scotch Malt Whisky Society Australian branch. I look after all the member activities, all our events, all our online activations, all of our marketing, our development, everything, our membership, everything that's needing to be looked after at the society. I have a part in bits and bobs of all of it, and it keeps me very busy every day. But I love doing this live stream. Good evening to Scott Brickhill. Good evening to Mark T. Good evening to all the 15 people, 16 people, 17 people watching in right now. Really appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, I go live every single night. The camera angle is a little bit off tonight. That's okay. Look, it's a very casual Monday live stream. I hope you can. Hi, David and or Caroline Taylor. I hope you're both well. Good evening from James Caden. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well, mate. You know what, James? Actually, your name is in this box here in front of me. The reason why tonight is so special is because I'm giving away a bottle of whiskey. Then I thought I'd talk about a little bit more about this Friday's outturn, this Friday's virtual pub, and some little tidbits about age statements that I want to touch on, which is really cool. Yes, an old and dignified, well, there, and an AR bottle. You can spot that a mile away. Many greetings from us. Yes, indeed, Archie Heroes box. Yes. Look, there's no big announcements about Archie Heroes or anything tonight. Well, there's some little announcements, but nothing. No, not what you're expecting. They are working with them. Don't worry. On a few projects coming up. A few events, but I'm going to talk about that. That's why it's on the table here. Great to see you too, everyone. Thank you so much. Reza, you know what? Your name's in this box as well. Just for the record, your name is also in this box here in front of me. In this box, I use this box now as my my giveaway draw box. It's actually an old society gift box from like the 1990s. I think that's rather cool. I did a tasting in Islay in the Western Hebrides of Scotland. For Facial last year. And one of the whiskies that was in the lineup was 53.5. Very cool little piece of society history. They're considering up to 53.300 and something these days. But this is 53.5, the fifth ever cast from that distillery in Islay. And it came in this gift box, which I thought was rather neat. So it actually might be even as early as sort of like late 80s, this box. It's got a nice sort of like stitched outer and a cardboard front. And you can see someone's pen has marked the front there a little bit. That doesn't bother me. I still love it. So I've got everyone's names in here who joined the society in June or July, and all the referrers. So everyone who joined, all the members, existing members who referred a new member. There's lots of names on that list. I'll go over. I'm just going to bring up my. Oh, there we are. Oh, I've done it wrong. Here we go. So there's my next screen. You can catch it there. This is the bottle that we're giving away tonight, 64.97, one of 222 bottles. Look at that. There it is on my desk, the same bottle I photographed next to me right there. A sunny day in late summer, juicy oak and vanilla flavor profile, Distillery 64, cask 97, exclusive partner bar cask, it says on the bottle. What does that mean? This bottling was only offered up to partner bars around the world. No members were offered this in an outturn, in an email, nothing, no special offers to members. This was literally just for partner bars. I was doing a raid of the warehouse whilst we were changing over to the new structure, as we emailed you all about with the change to monogram and everything. And we're doing a bit of a stock take. It's like, okay, what's in the warehouse at the moment? Found one dusty box sitting in the corner. It's like, oh, there's a bottle of that sitting in there. We thought we gave these to all the partner bars, but evidently not. So as all the partner bars have already had a fair crack at this about 2 years ago, I've got one bottle here that I'm going to give away to a member. So one member tonight, I'm going to send this bottle to you. That's right. I'm going to send this bottle to you if you're a member of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, and that means you've joined in the last 2 months, or you're an existing member who's referred a new member. Dr. Akers, good to see you. James Hart, good to see you. Hope you're all well. Yes, there's the bottle. I'm going to show it once more on screen just for all to see before I start doing the draw. And I'll leave it up on screen whilst I do this draw. This is really exciting. I love giving stuff away. This is great. So if I didn't give this away, you know what I'd do with it? I'd open it and I'd drink it myself. It's a collectible, but it's also something you want to pick a member. Dr. Akers, I would say that's a little bit biased, although there are a lot of new Victorian members in here. I'm going to show you before I pick it out. I'll pull out as many of them as I can muster. Here you go. There they all are. All the members who joined in June, July, and all those who referred them. So you're going to see me live tonight, right now. Choose who wins this, and then I'll talk a little bit more about other stuff going on. Not looking. You can see I'm looking at you. I'm pulling a name out in 3, 2, 1. Aha! Congratulations to Mr. Matthew Arclay in Queensland, who joined. There it is. You can see there's no I can't get that close to the camera. Look, you can zoom in if you need. There you go, Mr. Matthew Arclay. There he is. Congratulations, Mr. Arclay. In Queensland, you've just won that bottle of 64.97 a sunny day in late summer. Lots of new members who joined. You know what? I'm feeling charitable tonight. That's not my only giveaway. But Matthew, you've won that bottle. I'm going to pop that aside with your little name sticker over the top of it there. Congratulations. That's really exciting. I'm going to give away one more bottle. Why not? I'm going to give away, not a bottle, actually. I'm going to give away, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away an August tasting pack. So in our term, we've got an August tasting pack. It's called the 5 Flavor Forte tasting. It's 5 high flavored Fortissimo whiskeys in the lineup. Really exciting. Huge congrats to Mr. Arclay. Well done, Mr. Arclay. Matthew Arclay, well done. I hope you're watching this, or you might be watching later. Really well done to you, mate. That's fantastic. A Queensland member winning that. Well done, mate. Really fantastic. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pick one more name. I'm going to pull one more name. Now, by the way, some of the people in this list, the referrers, also there's Shirt Bar, there's Whiskey and Element, there's have referrals from some of our partner bars. So well worth checking out. Nick Husick asks, how many partner bars are there worldwide? Nick, that's a really good question. The answer is around 100. Now, that answer is that number is correct as of pre-corona, though. So some of these bars might unfortunately close. I don't know. Around the world, especially who have felt the effects of the COVID virus more than others. Sorry, that's my phone. I should have put it on silent. Who have felt the effects more than others, maybe. But it was about 100 before. So it was about 10 to 12 in Australia and about 100 worldwide. So we do all right. Okay, I'm going to put one more name out, and I'm going to give away an August virtual tasting kit valued at $99. I'm giving this away tonight. I'm in the mood for it. Why not? Here we go. One more name. Come on. I can't just give away one prize on one night. Here we go. Who's going to win the next prize? You can see it's just random. I'm just going to randomly select a name. Mr. Adrian Ferrier, based in Tasmania. Well done, mate. I hope you're well. I'm going to send you that pack. So congratulations to Mr. Matthew Arclay and congratulations to Mr. Adrian Ferrier, both new members of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society who have joined in the last 2 months, who I'm going to send out. One person's getting a full bottle of something that doesn't exist for anywhere, and the other person is getting an August virtual tasting pack valued at $99. But, of course, they aren't the only giveaways I'm going to be doing. I'm giving more away on the Friday with Virtual Pub. That's right. Virtual Pub's coming. I'm going to show you a few things. Let's go over a couple of things on Mark, if you referred Adrian, he absolutely needs to share his pack with you. That's a rule. By the way, Mark, I saw your name in that box. You're obviously in the draw as a referrer, but I'm glad to see that your friend won it, and well done to Mr. Adrian Ferrier. Well done. And Tassie member winning it, no less. By the way, for those who are watching in Tassie, we've been having some phone calls today. We're doing some great events coming up in Tassie, so keep your ears peeled. It's coming up real soon. We're really excited about this. A new Lonnie member. Launceston. Lonnie. I know you're supposed to say Lonnie. My mistake. Okay, let me go over a couple of things on Outturn here whilst we're here. Flavor Invasion is a theme for August. Here is the cover of Outturn. I love that cover. It's probably my favorite cover of the year, actually, so far. I want to talk a little bit about age statements. Here we have a 5-year-old whiskey in the Outturn. It is a premium livery. It's in the black livery. It's a peated whiskey from India. That is one of 24 bottles in the country, 58.5%. It is one of the most fascinating whiskeys I think I've ever tasted. It's unreal. It's unlike anything I've ever tasted in terms of peated whiskey. Yes, it is a little bit on the pricey side for a 5-year-old whiskey. But how do you like justify what the price of something is worth based on age statement? I'm going to give you an example. Let's talk about Archie Rose before. Here's one of their rye malt whiskies. This is probably mostly about 3-year-old spirit. I'm sure they'll be able to confirm that for you, but I know it's mostly 2 to 3-year-old spirit. If that was 5 years old, it could be justifiably twice the price of what it currently is. that would start bringing up into the territory of some very premium pricing for young whiskey. If this whiskey, this one here, if this didn't actually have an age statement, maybe it'd be a bit higher. Maybe it'd be what it's, people wouldn't worry so much about the price. The reason I'm talking about this tonight is because I saw a great Facebook thread where someone was saying that, I wouldn't buy whiskey that's only 3 or 4 or 5 years old. It's too young. What does that even mean? I mean, I'm going to show you an example. I'm not just defending this one whiskey. The next one in the lineup is a 30-year-old whiskey from the Vaults collection, which I'm sure you've all seen in your outturns by now. There it is, the Vaults collection premium release for 2020. That's a super premium 30-year-old sherried whiskey from Distillery 24, justified on the price. But if we're talking about a whiskey that is a little bit younger, by 6 times younger, we're talking one that is equally as premium. But there's this certain fascination. It was this one Facebook thread that set me on this course over the weekend about how why would, like, people saying, there was a thread saying, I would never buy a bottle of Starwood or something because it's too young. What does that mean? Like, it's aged in a different climate. The casks are different. The maturation policy is different. And the way it changes and expands in that cask is going to be entirely different. Yes, that's a really good comment. I can't see who's made it, sorry, because I'm just using StreamYard. It's like saying I won't buy blended whiskey because it's blended. It's a ridiculous comment. You know what? I work for a company called the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, a whiskey club that is worldwide, that prides itself on single cask strength whiskey, and I defend blended whiskey at every opportunity because A, we do a few blended malts, but that's regardless. B, the reason is that is the backbone of what keeps the Scotch whiskey industry going, what keeps the world industry going. And I won't talk too much about blended whiskey tonight. That wasn't the point. But the point was that we're often looking at these things like this whiskey here and going, oh, well, it's only 5 years old, therefore it's not fully mature, it's too expensive for a 5-year-old. It's one of the oldest casks that has come out of that distillery. Even the 139s we saw from Taiwan are quite young, comparative to a lot of Scotch whiskey at least, and are just differently aged. It's the same with the Welsh whiskey in the outturn. So in this one outturn, we've got a hyper-aged Scotch whiskey. We've got some middle-of-the-aged Scotch whiskey of different flavor profiles. We've got a long-aged Welsh whiskey by their aging standards and a long-aged Indian whiskey by their aging standards. We're not bottling it when it's not ready. We're bottling it when it's ready, when it's reached panel and they've approved it. And that's another example. Octomores are expensive and young. James, that's a good example as well. And I would argue, and this is, I think many will agree with me on this, the younger Octomores are better than the older ones. For anyone here who's had the opportunity to taste 10-year-old Octomore and 12-year-old Octomore, they're a different beast, and they're not really as well received, especially the 10-year-olds. They weren't very good. But like, that's what I'm saying. It's you've got to judge the whiskey on its flavor, on its merits, rather than on the age statement. We print an age statement wherever possible for transparency, for authenticity of what we're bottling. We're not hiding behind any no age statement. We're not putting things like Distiller's Reserve and Select Cask and Special Release behind things. I think that's ridiculous and is reserved for fluffy marketing that should have been left alone 10 years ago. There you go. That's a bit of a stab at whiskey marketers. But look, it's true though. I mean, there is a certain sort of like mistrust of some younger whiskey, which I think is not justified, especially once you get to taste this. Now, if you're on the fence about a bottling like this, here's a good thing. The August tasting pack that we've constructed for the 27th of August to go live is this whiskey's in the pack. So we've decided to draw down this whiskey to put into this tasting pack to make the most for members to enjoy it. Now, that way you can taste this whiskey at the end of your lineup and go, wow, that's incredible, or wow, that's not for me. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their flavor preference. Everyone has their taste preference. But writing a whiskey off entirely based on age statement, I think, is absurd. For those who have been members for a while, might remember G13.1. It was a Japanese grain whiskey that was positively pink in the glass. The name of that whiskey escapes me for the moment. I know I have a bottle somewhere, but it was called, I don't know what it's called, G13.1. And there was a G12.1 as well. They were both Japanese grains. And one of them, the G12, I think was 11-year-old, but the G13 was a 4-year-old grain whiskey. Now, is that a good whiskey? Is that a bad whiskey? Is it young? It's old? No, it's young. It's incredible. It was one of the most balanced and put together whiskeys I've ever tasted. That's more what it is. They're different, and they're exactly right. That's kind of my point tonight. And here's Dr. Aker saying those recent 3-year-olds were magic. Yes. Now, what I've got in front of me here, I'm just going to get rid of that side screen just for a moment. What I've got in front of me here, I used one example saying if this was twice the age, if this was a 5-year-old whiskey, it'd probably be twice the price. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, what I've got in front of me here, and I've got a mad love for this whiskey, by the way. That's why I've got a bottle. I'm a big fan of Arturo's. So, speaking of Arturo's, more on that coming up in a moment. Complete revelation. Thanks, James Caden. Yes, it was a complete revelation. It was the most unbelievably complex single cask Japanese whiskey, grain whiskey I've ever had. Unbelievable stuff. What I've got in front of me here is the winning bottle that Matthew Arklow, I'm popping that in the post for you tomorrow. I have in front of me here 2 whiskeys that I own from the society that I've held on to that I will open another time. One of them is 46.69. It is a 20-year-old whiskey. It's called Ruby Booze Day. I tasted this at one of our events. It must have been last year at some point. I think I tasted this one of our events. I'm normally quite skeptical of wine casks. I think those who've been watching a while will know I'm skeptical of them. I'm not like, I don't just bash them for the sake of it. I'm going to go, it makes sense to use them, especially in Australian whiskey. But I'm always skeptical of wine casks. I taste this, and it was from it was 18 years in an ex-bourbon barrel and then 2 years in an ex-red wine barrique. Unbelievable. The balance of the casks and the profile and the age on it was beautiful. Likewise, when I tasted RW 1.1, simply supermassive. It was the first ever Society rye. There's more ryes coming, by the way. It was the first ever Society rye whiskey, aged 3 years on the bottle right there. Aged 3 years in oak. Is that a young whiskey? Where was it matured? It was matured in Chicago. This is old by a lot of American standards even. So we've got to stop judging things based on purely on age statement and just judging things based on flavor. If you are a whiskey adventurer, and if you're a society member, you probably are, then make your adventure in flavor, not stats. I can't stress that enough. Focus on flavor, not stats, and you'll go a long way. Let me have a look at some of these comments here. Matt, in your opinion, how does Australian whiskey compare to Goa, as they're close in age, calls Australia whiskey hot that is cask hot? Yeah, I mean, look, whiskey matured in India and Australia are two very different things. But at the same time, I would say that 5 years in India this is no joke, by the way. 5 years in India, I'd say, is close to 10 years of Australian maturation. And 5 years in India is close to 20 years of Scottish maturation. I'll probably have some people like to argue against me on those numbers, but I'm using very much a ballpark here. 5 years of Goa monsoonally aged whiskey in Indian climate is akin to about 10 years of Australian whiskey maturation. How many 10-year-old Australian whiskeys do you really see at the moment? Not many. Very, very, very few. And when you do see them, they're not $300 like this Indian whiskey. They're closer to $500-600 or more. That 44 was released mid last year before the gathering. Yes, the 46 you mean? Yeah, the 46 was fantastic. That Ruby Booze Day. I normally if this was like full maturation in refill bourbon or something, I'd be like all over that. But even the fact that I tasted it and went, wow, that's so complex and so balanced and integrated that I had to get one. I'm not holding on to this for a special occasion. It's just I haven't had a chance to really dig into it yet. So can't see anything. So Darren says, a lot of less experienced and snobby whiskey drinkers assume a year in Scotland is the same as a year in Texas, India, or Tasmania. Very true, Darren. That's right. We know that's not true. So you use the age info relatively, i.e. 5 years in Texas equals 15 to 20 at least. Years are not equivalent. Yes, years are not equivalent. That's entirely right, Darren. That's half my point here about saying that judge a whiskey on flavor, and we like to put an age statement on the bottle to provide that transparency and authenticity. Well, I still haven't turned my phone off, have I? To provide that level of authenticity to it, and then and go from there. And this a lot of this has been caused by whiskey marketing using age from the 90s, where whiskey tried to separate itself from other spirits by age. Yes, exactly right. And in fact, you could probably look at some of the marketing, and I'll call them out on it because it was fine at the time. You could probably look at some of the whiskey marketing of Glenfiddich, saying age matters. Glenlivet used older is better approach. Look, they all did, and that's fine. And that was a sign of the times to differentiate itself from the vodkas and the gins and whatnot. It was an older spirit. And this is something that, let's be honest, in the 60s and 70s, a blended whiskey was not a thing. Pre-single malt explosion, this is not a thing. Like, age statements were not a discussed topic. You might see aged 5 years, or you might see gold label mature edition and things like that. But it wasn't sort of a focus on older is better. And we got sort of trapped into that 90s cycle, and you still see some of it today. So you've got to remember, these are long-term, this is long-term education. It's about letting people know that not to focus on the age statement and just focus on the flavor. I can't wait for everyone who jumps in on the August virtual tasting on the 27th. Tickets go on sale this Friday and outturn. I can't wait for you all to actually open that Indian whiskey and go, wow, that's unbelievably, at least unbelievably mature. It might not be your thing. If you're not a peated whiskey fan, I get it. That's fine. You've got to be in the mood for it. So look, that was my point tonight. And that's why I wanted to just jump through a few slides. As I said, there's a few other things in outturn that I just want to touch on very briefly. Of course, have a read of Distilled DeLorean. It's something I put together. I like writing an article for each outturn. I'm really looking forward to what we write in September as well, but I like putting a bit into outturn that you can actually, chew on a bit if you like. Have a bit of a read. I love your feedback. Put it in the Facebook group. Tweet me on it. I love hearing that people are reading this stuff and actually getting a kick out of it. I think that, do you feel like Macallan contributed to the age statement? Good question. Yes. Also, yes. I mean, they all did. It wasn't just like Glenfiddich, Glenlivet. They all did it because it was their point of differentiation. We age our whiskey longer. The longer is better. That's absurd. We need to get a little bit further out of that realm of thinking. Show us your flux capacitor. I don't know if to be afraid or intrigued by that comment, Lachlan, but I'm going to take both. So this is an example of an article I wrote to talk about thinking historically about how far we've come in such a short amount of time, really, if you think about it. So let me just grab these next slides here. And we've got also in outturn, we've got Virtual Pub is here. And it's this Friday, the 7th of August at 7 p.m. Virtual Pub is, it's like a live stream like I'm doing now, but it's going to have lots of special guests. It's going to have tuning in with different people. It's going to have some great experts, whiskey experts, people in the trade. It's a special shout out to Melbourne. It's a Melbourne edition of Virtual Pub. We're doing this for you guys in Victoria who are going to be locked down, stuck at home on a Friday night. Tune in for Virtual Pub. We've got live music, live on the stream. Yes. We've got special guests tuning in from Melbourne, special guests tuning in from Geelong, special guests tuning in from Sydney, and heaps of member giveaways. I'm going to do heaps of member giveaways. You can still join up to be a member of the society if you're not already between now and Friday, and you'll go in the draw as well. We might even throw in a little mini whiskey quiz. See how you go. You know what? It'll be fun. So that's this Friday online. Where you're watching, however you're watching this stream right now will be how you watch it. So if you're on YouTube right now, or if you're on Facebook or wherever you are, it'll be where you want to be. We've got 3 events at Archie Rose. I've mentioned these before, but I won't go into too much detail. Challenge the Panel, Heresy History, and a distillery tour where we're going to be tasting Archie Rose's preview single malt, which is really exciting. All 3 of those events go live on this Wednesday at 10 a.m. So just check both our websites and the Archie Rose website. The Challenge the Panel event is being ticketed by Archie Rose. So if you want to come to that event, go to the Archie Rose website. Pardon me. If you want to go to the other 2, that's through the Society's website. They'll be you can see the details of the events are on our site already. But of course, tickets available on Wednesday. And then we've got, we're going to go through to, just want to show a photo of a bit of a time capsule photo. There you go. That's what Archie Rose looked like pre-social distancing. I know, it's funny. Yes. There's going to be plenty of years to make social distancing jokes once this is all blown over. And the reason why I'm showing this photo of part of the distillery is because actually all 3 of those events are happening inside the distillery. And then we're going to be in the pop-up bar next door following that night, each night. And of course, if you're a member of the society and you show your green membership card, you actually get 20% off all drinks, not just society drinks, but cocktails, beer, wine, spirits, that whole back bar. The back bar changes a lot. So of course, second outturn article using a car theme. I feel like Matt is missing his car and bike tours. Yeah, you know what? I do love a bit of motoring. I enjoy motorcycling. I enjoy motoring. I love all that stuff. So maybe there's a bit of a theme. It's just, you write what you know about, right? So that was and I was just showing a bit of the sexy back bar there at Archie Rose that you can dig into, at not just at this time, not just at those events, which we encourage you to do, but also anytime outside of that, of course. Mark, we know that the borders are still closed until the end of August. Yes, nothing we can do about that. I wish we could. And then, you know what? Heresy History, we're opening, I think, every single Heresy release since Exotic Cargo forward. I took that photo of Exotic Cargo. I'm quite fond of that one. Anyway, so that we're opening every Exotic Cargo, every Heresy release between now and James Hart says, I used the 20% off for our whole table and it was the only member. James, that's the idea. That's the idea. Do it. Like, if you're a society member, take some friends along, 20% off your whole table. You'd save more than worth your membership fee alone each year. So I think that's pretty good. And Lachlan, yes, look at all that not gin. Thank you, Scott. You know what? Actually, that means a lot coming from you, Scott, because your photos are bloody brilliant. And I'm envious of your angles and bottle kills that you managed to get. It's awesome. I love watching your photos come up on the group, Scott. Seriously. No, just one Exotic Cargo, Rob, because I'm only offering up what we've released locally. There was a second batch of Exotic Cargo that was a European market only. And that was too because the Benelux branch were grumpy they didn't get any or something like that. Anyway, and then Andrew's event, the Grand Tour of Speyside, also goes on sale on Wednesday. So this Wednesday before Out Tony is sort of our events release of events coming back up. We're doing events where we can. Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide's still a bit sort of see how we go. Tassie, we've got some events coming up in September in Tassie. So keep your hat on. And we're really looking forward to doing all this with you soon. And that's all I want to go through tonight, really. Oh, we released 3 bottlings. I think you would have all got the email about that, but worth mentioning. Petrichor Agricole has sold out, I'm afraid, but Healand Goo and Powerful Potion are both still available. They're both on the Society website right now, so if you needed something to replenish, they'll won't last a long time either. So where am I? Oh, virtual tasting. I've already mentioned that. This, it's going to be on Friday. I said Friday. It's going to be on Thursday, the 27th of August. 5-flavor virtual. Looking forward to it all with you. Thank you so much for listening to me again tonight. And congratulations again to Adrian Ferrier and Matthew Arclay for winning the both that bottle and I'm going to throw a tasting pack over your way, Adrian. Well done. Nice little runner-up prize there worth $100. Owen, yes, Canberra. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot to mention. I love you guys in Canberra. I didn't actually forget Canberra. Canberra's coming up soon. Drew's got something really special arranged for you. I think in the first or second week of September. It'll be announced really shortly. We're working with Drew on that, and he's got a gathering event. Actually, Canberra, you guys get the pick of the litter when it comes to the gathering events because you're getting first preview, I think, of the gathering casks. So you'll be ahead of everyone. Look, yes, Canberra's coming up. Like I said, it's slow turning wheels. No one knew what this was going to look like, this whole pandemic. We didn't know. No one knew whether it was just going to be sort of here, it's here and then it's gone. But it looks like it sort of came and then it's still here and then it's sort of second wave and then it's still here. We're all just playing it by ear. We're working with venues that are actually open and actually can take guests and take members. We're looking forward to it all. As James Caden says, Victoria is currently Australia's Chernobyl. Go on without us. Like I said, James, seriously, this Friday's virtual pub is for you. The virtual pub this Friday is a big shout out to our Melbourne members featuring some very special Melbourne guests. We're looking forward to it all. I hope to see you all on Friday night. I'll do a couple of live streams between now and then, of course, because I can't help myself. But I'll see you all on Friday night for virtual pub, 7 p.m. Take care, everyone, and love you all to bits. Signing off, Matt Bailey, Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Have a great evening, everyone. Cheers. Slàinte mhath, however you like it.